and welcome to another episode of Panel on Panels, the podcast about all things comics and comics related. I'm your host, John Campbell. Joining me, as always, my co-host, Donovan Eilert.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
And then we are down a co-host today. Mike Gergoni sadly could not be here.
The man got him down.
But we're making up for it by having, I believe this is the first time we've done this, 2 guests on the show. Mm-hmm. We have Elena Wellard and Josh Christiansen from Things from Another World. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you today?
Thanks for having us.
Doing all right, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being on the show.
And you guys are in marketing at Things from Another World, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, we are.
You looked at each other like there was an uncertainty.
Are we?
Yeah, I thought, there was a section. I'm like, is that right?
Portion accounting? No, definitely marketing.
We do a lot of different things, but marketing is the most important one.
Cool, yeah. So, I mean, what kind of? You say you do a lot of different things. What kind of stuff do you guys do for?
They're all marketing related. I mean, we're responsible for store events as well as our website sales as well. So we wear a lot of different hats.
Very
but
cool.
we love working for Things from Another World.
And Things from the World, for people who don't know, it is a comic book store. Both there are physical locations and the website.
Online at tifa.com.
Tifa.com, yes.
We have 3 locations in Portland area, Beaverton, downtown Milwaukee, and Northeast Portland. And we also have a location at Universal City Walk in Los Angeles, California.
That's pretty cool.
Super awesome.
We're actually their oldest tenant, and we recently remodeled the store down there and moved locations at City Walk, so we're right next to the theater now. So
Cool.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
pretty
It's amazing
great
store.
area, so
Yeah.
How'd that come about? I mean, it feels like being based out of this area, and then the first one you do at Universal City Walk, like, is that a long process to get there?
No, we actually, like Josh said, we're the oldest tenant in that particular area. It's a natural extension of the Dark Horse Entertainment,
Yeah.
the movie company that Dark Horse has since we're sister companies. So Mike Richardson, the founder, he wanted to be in California to extend on that presence.
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, yeah, and you mentioned Mike Richardson, the founder of Dark Horse and Things from Another World as well?
that's right. Yeah, he actually started the comic shop first over in Bend. It was called Pegasus Books at that time.
Yeah.
In '79, and then sold that, and then moved over here. He's from Milwaukee, actually, and opened up the shop that's actually currently standing over in Beaverton right now, and he and his buddies put together the first Dark Horse comics physically on the counters out at the Beaverton store.
Cool.
So
Wow.
it's a nice little piece of history that we still hold on to.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
No, that's definitely awesome. We had Bob Schreck on the show, actually, it'll come out after this, so we're going to have Bob Schreck on the show, I should say,
Spoiler for
who
everybody.
was obviously very instrumental in sort of the rise of Dark Horse Comics to become what it's now.
Absolutely.
So it's and then being a sister company of Dark Horse, that's got to be pretty good for the store, I would imagine. And I'm sure there's a lot of benefits to that.
Yes, definitely. We get access to a lot of creators that work on Dark Horse books. We get them in our stores for signings. In fact, one of our biggest signings that we ever had at Portland store was Chuck Palahniuk.
Oh, yeah.
For his Fight Club 2.
Yeah.
That's being published right now. We had probably 800 people or so at the store that day.
Sure, yeah.
It was a great party.
For sure. I mean,
So that's one of the benefits of being
absolutely
related to Dark Horse.
And yeah, I mean, I do like that the events you guys throw on do kind of take on a kind of party atmosphere to a certain extent. I mean, whether they be artist signings or you do the Rose City Comic Con kickoff party.
Yeah, we also do party for Free Comic Book Day at Portland store as well.
That's the biggest day of the year in comics, so we
Oh,
have
for
to
sure.
come.
We
We have
go-
to come correct with free
We
comics.
we go all out. We have food, we have beer, DJ usually, so the place is jumping. It's pretty awesome. It's a lot of people come out, and it's a great atmosphere. So if you haven't been to our Portland store on Free Comic Book day at night, definitely come check it out. It's awesome.
Very cool. Yeah. And so we talked about Mike Richardson starting it as Pegasus Books. At what point does that turn into Things from Another World?
Early 80s.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure on the date, but
sure. But it started as it started with the Beaverton store, or it started in Bend and then went to
Right.
the Beaverton
It's
store.
it actually turned into Things from Another World in the 90s, and at one point, according to the legend, it was considered to go with the symbol instead of the name, kind of like Prince.
Sure.
So, yeah. So there is a lot of rich history there, but.
Have you guys ever thought about, personally, this is a personal question, of changing your name to a symbol? I think about that sometimes. Like, what would that look like?
I know.
Did it ever cross your mind?
Something involved. I don't know.
All right.
That's pretty interesting.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
it takes-
I do.
takes a lot of guts to do that.
I do go by EW, so
There
I'm
you go.
kind of halfway there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're on your way to a symbol. Eventually, the E and the
I
W will just
need to.
merge into
I actually
something.
do have
Right.
like a I
Okay.
think I can totally pull it off.
Yeah, I think you can get away with it. Yeah.
Cool.
Good question.
That
Okay, there
starts
you
her
go.
journey as a symbol.
So, Things from Another World. So it starts, and then how did it start expanding out from the Beaverton store? Where did that then? Did it go to Milwaukee next?
I'm not entirely sure which stores open next.
Which stores?
Actually, yeah. So at one point we had, a shop down in San Francisco.
Oh, so I didn't know
a couple
about that.
other shops in the kind of local area.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've been going to this Milwaukee store for years. I think I want to say when I started going, it was still called Pegasus Books, actually. As you said to me, if it was in the 90s,
That'd be a
then-
long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
You're a very loyal customer.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Were you like -2 when you came out?
Just a
Like,
little,
to the
just a
store?
little, yeah, just a little kid coming out here.
His parents were in the shop and thought about having John,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
when he remembers.
That's
his
when.
first memory is
Yeah,
an idea.
pretty much, yeah. And then, so how did you guys get involved in the company? How did you come to, or how long have you been working here? What?
I've been working with the company for about 8 years. In college, actually, I had done an informational interview with Dark Horse, and had always wanted to get on with them. And then when TIFA had an opening in the marketing department, I jumped at that. It was no question. So, so I've been there ever since, just, learning more about, comics in general.
But
and
you were
how
always
to-
in comics.
Yeah.
Into
Yeah,
comics.
absolutely.
That's why
Like,
you
I've
were
been in
looking for
comics for
that
a long time, but I learned a lot more since I've been here. So yeah.
So something I always ask our guests, especially people who are into comics. Do you remember what the first comic was that really clicked you into comic books? Was there a specific issue of something?
There wasn't a specific issue for me, but I loved the Onslaught back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I collected as many of those issues as I possibly could. I mean, it crossed over. That was a huge crossover event for Marvel. And,
Oh, sure.
So those are the ones that really kind of cemented my geekdom, I guess. So.
All right, very cool.
And do you still have those?
I do, yeah. They're in a long
Nice.
box somewhere. I mean, I couldn't
Sure.
tell you where they are. I mean, they might be at my mom's house, but I definitely have those issues still.
Awesome.
Awesome. And then Elena, how'd you end up here?
I've been with the company for a little bit over 10 months now. So
Okay. So you're pretty new then.
Yep, I'm relatively new to the job. It's, exciting. I learn all kinds of new stuff every day. I was not into comics before I started here.
Okay.
I read comics, here and there, but it's never been a thing for me. But it definitely all changed. So
Now you're a comics fan? then?
I'm getting into more and more stuff, and it really helps in this environment because there is so many people who are interested in the same things, and they have so many good recommendations.
Sure, yeah.
So it definitely helps.
Awesome. And then, so Things from Another World is awesome because not only, I mean, it's a comic book store, obviously, so there are comic books, but there's all kinds of different products in there as well.
Yeah, we try to be more of a pop culture store than just a comic book store. We definitely do, concentrate on comics, new issues, graphic novels. We have a great selection of those in each of our stores. But we also have collectibles, statues, some really nice, expensive pieces if you're looking for a Christmas present for a special someone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got the cases of hot toys and stuff, which are always...
Yes, we do.
I think the Batman 66 with the bomb over his head is maybe my favorite
Yeah,
statue
right?
you guys
Yeah.
have. It's so awesome. It looks so good.
Then like all 900 of the Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love those.
Man, those are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have all kinds of different stuff. We have some games. We really try to have a really good selection of children's comics and toys as well. Try to reach out to younger customers and get them into reading since it's such an easy medium to enter.
Sure.
So we try to do that as well.
Yeah, it's really... I mean, and I think Things from the World has a different vibe than a lot of other comic book stores, or I feel like. Do you think that?
Yeah,
I mean,
I've always noticed that it's always great recommendations, like you said, of people who just seem to love everything they do, and people have always been incredibly accommodating when I'm asking about weird questions or weird things, or getting things from the online site to you in the store. I mean, it feels different. I mean...
Yeah, we definitely try to be all-inclusive. We try to step away from that, perception that comic book store is the exclusive club and you have to be a member to, walk in and be welcomed. We try to open our store up to kids and everybody. So our managers in our stores, Sean at Milwaukee, Josh at Portland, and James at Beaverton, they do extremely good job at figuring out what you like, whether it's a TV show or you're already reading a comic book, and based on that, giving you recommendations.
Yeah,
new
I'd say
stuff that's
95% of the time that Sean's put something in my box, I've continued reading it. So like he's really
It's
really
like a
good.
mutant superpower.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, seriously, it is
pretty scary.
freaky.
Yep.
I remember talking to him for like 30 seconds once, and he's like, "You want something new to read?" I was like, "Sure." And he hands me something I talk about on the show all the time, but Rachel Rising. And I was like, "What's this about?" He's like, "Just look through this."
Right.
And like 5 more seconds is like, "All right, I'm going to buy this." And I just don't stop talking about it. I mean, it just like...
I think a new issue of that comes out this week too, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Pretty stoked about it. I mean, and it's like, it's uncanny, his ability to do that, so...
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean,
It's-
there's a bunch of series that I love that he told me about for the first time and stuff like that. And yeah, it is.
Like
it is.
a comic whisperer.
It's pretty
Yes,
freakish.
he
Yeah.
is. Yes, he is.
But yeah, I think that is the case. Is that there's there has been, and I've been in a number of comic book stores like this where it's like very arms folded, very also just very. The store is also just a nice store in terms of like physically as a store, because I think there's also a lot of. I've been in some other comic book stores where it's very dusty and lots of sort of moldy back issues and things like that. And you guys primarily focus on newer comics in the store.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, older kind of back issues take up a lot of room, and you really have to have like a devoted staff to manage that kind of inventory, and that's just not where we are. We don't want to be in that game. We want to be supplying folks month in, month out their favorite comics, and like Elena said, giving them good recommendations on upcoming books and associated product.
For sure.
Fill out their collection. So
Yeah. And something it's coming up, because obviously this episode is we're recording this actually pretty quickly. Normally we have a long lead time on our episodes, but Black Friday's coming up, and I think you guys are doing something for that.
yeah, we got a lot of things planned for Black Friday. Start with our stores, I guess. On Black Friday, we're actually opening a couple hours early at 9:00, and we're going to have 20 to 80% off store-wide on most of our product.
Wow.
It's going to be 20% to 80% off, and then we're doing doorbuster deals, and the managers at each of the locations have picked out a few manager specials that they're going to offer at good discounts as well. So these are like books that we specifically ordered for Black Friday because we love them, and we know that you guys are going to love them too. So
Very cool. Yeah, Yeah, it's awesome. And then also, because some of our listeners are obviously not in the Portland or Milwaukee area, also the website has some deals.
Right,
as well.
that actually kicks off on Friday the 20th. So this week, we're pretty excited about that. Black Friday comes early to tpaw.com is basically what we're calling it. And we have doorbuster deals planned for Black Friday as well as Cyber Monday, and we have several waves of doorbusters hitting then. But yeah, this Friday it kicks off at 50%, and then next Tuesday, I believe, it kicks off. That product goes to 60% off and culminates on Black Friday with doorbuster deals and those 70% off that product there.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
And we're also offering free shipping on domestic orders, in-stock orders of comic books and graphic novels, $45
And
or
that's
more.
the first time that we've ever done anything like that.
say,
First time.
Sale.
So,
So
yeah.
it's
Not
going to be
only-
a pretty big
That's great.
Not
deal.
only you get a great discounts, you also get free shipping if you order enough stuff. So definitely come check us out.
That's the thing about the website is that you don't have to have a comic shop near you, and a lot of people don't. I mean, you're talking
Right.
about Montana, Nebraska, places that just you'd have to drive hours and hours to actually get your stuff. That's not worth your time either. Like you gotta weigh the cost of shipping a product versus the cost of you driving out and going to pick up that stuff on a weekly, monthly basis. It's just it works out for a lot of people, and we're collectors too on the website. So our shipping team is amazing with packaging up your books and collectibles, because we know that they need to get there in like pristine condition.
That is really nice to hear, because I mean, I've purchased stuff from other places where it's like mangled in a thing, in a cheap kind of thing,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
stuff somewhere, and it's like, oh, this is just wrecked now.
Yeah. So
That's-
they take great care. So we're really proud of our shipping team.
That's good to hear. And then what? Obviously, being on the retail side of comics, what comics are you seeing that people are excited about now? What are some of the big books out there?
A big one is for us is definitely Fight Club 2.
Sure.
It started in May and it's been going strong.
Yeah.
That's definitely excited about that one.
When that kind of came out of nowhere, all of a sudden I heard like Palinix doing Fight Club 2 as a comic, and
Right.
I was like, I think for a lot of people, it kind of took people off guard.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. But
It's fantastic. He does a really good job with it. It's really funny, and just the art team on that is fantastic. Buffy is really big for our online company.
Yeah.
We have a huge Buffy fan base, and so Buffy and Angel are really big there.
That's another one that continues from a movie or television show into comics form, which is awesome. I mean, because there's times when shows or movies end and you're not ready to be done with that.
Oh man,
yet.
absolutely! Like Jericho got a 4th season.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Orphan Black
Yep.
actually has their second story starting this week.
Oh, very cool.
I think.
Yep.
I mean, which Dark Horse also does, but I mean, Serenity is huge
Right.
because I mean that was really taken away from us in a way that, I mean, Buffy 7 seasons,
Yep.
keep going, but there's only 14 episodes in a movie of Serenity.
Exactly. So I think there are four or five books of Serenity that are out and available now that you can pick
For
those
sure.
up on our website, tfaw.com. And Dark Horse has some other really cool titles like Hellboy that's really big, and Abe Sapien. And so Mike Mignola, his whole universe is really great. And I'm kind of a Marvel guy, so I dig a lot of the new series that are coming out, like Astonishing Ant-Man. First issue came out that was really good. I read Karnak by Warren Ellis, which was amazing.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
And I just it was not enough. I wanted more, like instantly. And
Mighty Thor is coming out.
Mighty Thor comes out this week
Your
as well.
favorite?
So pretty cool to see that Thor take on Loki. So I don't want to do any spoilers in case somebody's like 8 months behind or 12 months behind.
Which
but,
I'm sure many people are.
Yeah, exactly. Pick up Mighty Thor.
Very cool. And so that's a little bit of what you're, Elena. You're just getting into comics a little bit, or you sort of what are you liking now?
Well, I really like Fight Club, and I'm really excited about Lady Killer coming back in early 2016.
Yeah, we're stoked
which
on
is
that, too.
again Dark Horse title.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's weird. Friend of the show, Joelle Jones, does that. And we
she's
obviously,
amazing.
No, she's incredible in that book. I loved the first run of that. Man, that was.
Yeah.
We talk
just
it up all the time on
breathtaking
here,
that whole
but
time.
yeah, very cool. Awesome. You guys have anything else you want to let people know about or get the word out about?
I just wanted to circle back on the Black Friday
Yeah.
at our local stores and remind people again that it starts on Black Friday, November 27th at 9 a.m. and the sale goes through Sunday.
Yes.
So the savings going to last you until Sunday. And we're going to be announcing more doorbusters on our social media. So all three of our local Oregon stores have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to see what kind of awesome deals we got in store for you, follow and subscribe to us, and you'll get all the details. And I think we forgot to mention the golden ticket.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So for our box customers at our 3 local locations in Oregon, if you go out and pick up your box this month prior to Thanksgiving, you're going to find a special golden ticket that's an exclusive offer for our box customers, allowing them into the store on Black Friday an hour early, so
Nice.
from 8 to 9 a.m., so that they can get in on those savings, kind of in a cool shopping experience. It's a little less hectic.
For sure.
And then they get kind of the pick of the litter. So.
Yeah, that's really nice. And they can sing "I've Got a Golden Ticket" from
Yeah,
Willy Wonka
exactly.
as they
That's the
skip out of
point.
the store.
Well, and that's something that Things from Another World has always been generous about is the discounts for box customers. If you're thinking about getting a box at a comic shop, maybe think about Things from Another World, because you always give great discounts on like every day when you're picking stuff up. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. We love to take care of our box customers. I mean, they're our friends too, because they come into the shop all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, sometimes, they'll just be hanging out for a while. And,
Yeah.
you can become friends with everybody. So it's a really cool kind of atmosphere at
Absolutely.
our shop.
I mean,
so.
it's almost all the time when people come in there, it's like, oh, hey, Jim, or what? I mean, it's really like
exactly.
it doesn't have that sort of impersonal kind of very corporate-y kind of feel to it.
All our employees are
bookstores.
fantastic because they know everybody, and they just like, oh, you're box 57, right? And then go pick up their all their stuff for them, and just start talking. It's
and
it's
recommend you a bunch of stuff that you never heard about.
Yep.
right. No, we're obviously big Tifa fans on here, and that's why.
We're too.
Yeah, no, it's great. Cool. So we do have some weird questions for you, actually.
Oh.
We always, anytime people come on the show, we do a
Shoot.
little segment called Weird Questions with Donovan Eilert, so I'll turn things over to Donovan now
So-
for some weird questions.
So I've got 3 questions, and then I'll ask you if you guys can both give your own answers for this one. The first is, what is your favorite paint color name? If you know any paint colors, what?
cinnamon red.
Cinnamon
My
red?
friend had a cinnamon red. Gosh, what was it? It was a car. I think it was a Tercel or something like that.
Okay.
In college, and it was brown, basically. Yeah. And
But they call it cinnamon red.
cinnamon red. Yeah, and it flipped over on its, out of our driveway, which was an incline or a decline, incline, whatever, one of the climbs.
Yeah.
And not Kevin Kline.
I was gonna say Kevin would be the-
anything like that. Anyway. So it rolled down our driveway out into one of the major streets down in Eugene, and then just flipped over on its top, and that was the end of that car.
You guys weren't able to flip it back over?
We were, but it was just totaled at that point.
Yeah.
So he ended up getting a new, sportier, cool car. So.
And cinnamon brown or cinnamon red?
No,
Or
it was
he got
something boring like regular white or something.
Yeah, regular
Yeah,
white.
exactly.
Regular white.
Josh stole my thunder because my favorite color is car color 2, and
Yeah.
it's lime squeeze green.
Ah,
Lime
all right.
squeeze green.
It's the color of the Ford Fiesta I'm driving,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
and I call it Jelly Bean.
Yeah. That's the name of your car?
Jelly Bean. It's
That's
a
a
nickname.
good name for a Ford Fiesta.
Yeah.
Next
I
question.
feel very European when I drive that.
Why is that?
Because it's like small and
Yeah.
very, I can zip around in it.
Yeah.
And it's
Not very American.
They
You
look
gotta
very
get
fun.
like a gas guzzler, like a
No, it
pickup
has-
truck,
What?
something like that.
The next question is, what is the best kitchen utensil to give someone on a first date?
On a first date?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Donovan, this brings up some questions about what you're doing on
No,
dates. but,
this is not about me. This is,
I'm going to go with the wooden spoon.
okay.
So if you don't like your date, you can just hit him on the
There you go.
forehead.
I don't know. I like a good cheese shredder.
Okay.
You know, I'm a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
and
sure,
so
yeah.
You know, I think that's a nice functional gift also because you can shred cheese or potatoes.
Yeah.
If you're into that
It's
kind of
cheese
thing.
shredder. It's not potato
Well, I use
shredder.
mine for potatoes also.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Shredder
But
kind
here's
of
the question, though.
rules.
Why have they never made a cheese shredder that looks like
I
Shredder
know.
from Teenage Mutant Ninja
That's
Turtles?
a great question.
If you listen to the
needs to get
show
on
and you
that from
design
Nickelodeon.
cheese graters, please write us. We'll figure something out.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Get
That would
some
be
lo-
amazing.
You guys
Get
got to
the-
take a cut of that though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, we would discuss that off mic,
Right,
of
right.
course. Yeah, we don't
But-
have to get into
but,
the
yeah,
nitty-gritties right now. But sure.
Yeah.
As well as have like 8 of them through my house.
Yeah.
And then the last is, if you are putting together a team of people to go out and fight zombie hordes, what is the best name for that team?
That's a good question.
These are the
This
tough
is not
questions.
weird question.
this
This
is
is
a
hard
hard one.
question.
Yeah,
Sorry.
these are difficult
It's like
ones.
it's
today.
like naming a boat. You
I
you
got it.
have to name it certain
Wait,
ways so it
Josh, you got one?
doesn't fail.
I totally have one.
Okay, go ahead.
The Rob Zombies.
Oh,
But you have to fill the team with people only
Oh,
named
you-
Rob.
Rob.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
That's
Rob
very
Schneider.
selective.
Yep. Rob Schneider, Zombie Hunter. I would
Rob
totally
Riggle,
watch that movie.
Rob
yeah.
Lowe.
Rob Lowe
Rob
would be
Lowe.
amazing. He-
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good looking zombie fighter.
Yeah. So that would the Rob Zombies. But I wouldn't have Rob Zombie on the team though.
No,
No,
that's-
too obvious.
It's just
Yeah,
too
that's-
much. It'd
no,
be like a
too much on the
Russian
head, yeah.
egg situation, like
Yeah.
all the nesting.
Not
Nesting
appropriate.
dolls.
Yeah,
Mhm.
nesting dolls.
You were going to take Rob Zombies, weren't you?
No, did not even occur to me.
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe fighting zombies.
You'd be way too excited to do that.
I know, right? He's so good looking while he was doing it.
They won't bite him. He's too handsome. Okay.
He's got nothing.
That's all right.
I'm drawing a blank.
Wow. Don, these are getting harder.
I'm sorry.
Stumper. That was a
I'm
stumper.
sorry.
Each
I'm gonna-
episode, each time we do this, I think they get.
I gotta
think they get a little bit
retire
more
this. I
difficult.
think I just gotta get
Cool.
two in my head about it.
So we heard some of the recommendations of comics, or that you guys like. We also do some recommendations. Donovan, what are you recommending to our listeners this week?
You know me, I like to recommend things that have been out for a long time, but
Sure.
only because they're awesome. If you've not,
This is not Rachel Rising again, is it? You've already mentioned it on this episode.
it's a comic about a girl who wakes up in her grave.
Oh, no.
And she comes back. No, it's Morning Glories.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you've not read Morning Glories by Nick Spencer with art by Joe Eisma, it's like Lost in a high school is what people often describe it as. And my girlfriend Bridget has made a pact with me to finish watching Lost after months and months and months of never finishing that show. I have to say the comic is much more enjoyable than that show. However, if you liked Lost, which I know that there were millions of people who
Absolutely,
did,
until the very end.
well, yeah. And Morning Glories doesn't have that kind of turn where it gets too big for its own britches on it.
Not
so
yet.
Yeah, it's true. It's still going.
I mean, it's still going. So, but I think they're taking cues from Lost. You know, they're not gonna. Yeah, I think
they
They're
do have
smarter than that.
They do have the example of Lost, I suppose.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. That it went before him and kind of fell, so they don't have
Right.
to. Anyways, I just think it's awesome. It's trippy, a lot of good action, great character development
For sure.
And yeah, it's really really fun to read. So Morning Glories, I say pick it up.
Awesome.
Another good one is
Yeah.
Huck.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
coming out. So that's Mark Millar's next series.
That's right.
I think it's only like a 5-issue mini or something
Yeah.
like that. But it has Raphael Albuquerque doing the art, and
Nice.
he's just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazingly talented. So he did 8 for Dark Horse, and he also did American Vampire.
Oh, yeah, great
so
book.
I'm just looking forward to the visuals on that.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
big Mark Millar fans on the show
Yeah.
too, so that's
He's one of those guys. There's some creators where it's like, I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but it's going to be interesting with Mark Millar. It's going to be different than things you've seen before.
he
for
commits
sure.
to everything.
Exactly.
Like whatever he puts out is just like,
Like-
this is what I had. I didn't change it. Let's go with it.
Yeah, like Nemesis.
Yeah.
Oh, that was rough.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
hard book to read, but it was. I mean, it was.
He was
it was
unrelenting,
obvious.
though.
Like
Yeah.
what happens when Batman turns evil, basically.
People, I think somebody optioned that as a movie. I don't know how that would go
that would
as a
be
film.
Like hard R.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They should just cast Ben Affleck, and everybody will have a legitimate reason to hate him as a Batman.
There you go. Is that what you're hoping for? Is the Affleck movies to kind of...
Turn to Nemesis? I don't know about that.
There's 3 of them. There's going to be 3 of
I
them.
don't know. We don't know where they're going to get from there.
Who
I
knows?
guess. The book I'm recommending this week, though, is the Back to the Future comic that's going on right now.
Issue number 2 comes out.
Yeah,
Yep.
issue 2 is out now. So there's 2 issues out. Super fun if you like Back to the Future, which is one of my favorite movies. It's Bob Gale writing it, who's one of the co-writers of the movie. Super fun book.
John, you told me the other day that might be your favorite movie of all time.
It's amongst my favorite movies of all time for sure. It's always hard.
You said you liked it more than Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that was pressed by
I had
you.
your back against the wall,
It was
yeah.
a very tough call about Ghostbusters versus Back to the Future, but I did have to side on Back to the Future
rough.
there.
It's
But
rough.
yeah,
We're in a fight.
Check that out. It's a really fun book. Obviously, it has the same kind of vibe as the movie, and yeah, very cool. All right, so I think that's gonna do it for this episode. We want to thank Josh and Elena for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. And you can, we told you, once again, you can go to tfod.com or check out the stores.
Social media. You guys always
Social
post great
media.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then you can check us out online. We're at Panel on Panels on Twitter. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, the long list of
Any you can
social
do.
media.
All
you
of
can,
them.
All
yeah,
of them.
you can also email us at panelonpanels@gmail.com. And cool. So for Panel on Panels, I've been John Campbell.
And I will always be Donovan Eilert.
Keep reading comics, everyone.